Hola estudiantes! Today we're going to be talking about participios pasados, which are past participles. And I have a famous past participle you should all know, which is enchilada. And enchilado, in case you did not know, means seasoned with chili. Just a little tidbit of information for today. Let's get started. So we're going to be talking first about how to use past participles as adjectives. So when you have the verb estar, a lot of times you're going to use the past participle to be an adjective. And we already have quite a few of these that we've just known forever as adjectives and didn't really realize that they were the past participle of a verb. So in order to make a past participle, for the regulars of course, you're going to just drop the AR and add ado for the AR verbs, and you're going to drop the ER or IR and add ido. And the examples we have here are pintar becomes pintado, painted instead of to paint. Conocer becomes conocido, so instead of to know, it's known. That one doesn't have the ed ending in English, but preferir becomes preferido. My preferred class is español, obviamente. So that's all you have to do is you take off the AR, ER, IR, and add ido or ado. But we need to remember that because we are using this as an adjective at this point, so we are using this participle to become an adjective. The fun part is now you can take verbs that you didn't know an adjective to. It doesn't work with every verb, but oftentimes you can take these verbs and make them into an adjective. Or you can go the opposite way, so we can go backwards and make it into a verb. So what we're going to do now is we're focusing on how to use them as an adjective, but because they're adjectives, we have to remember to always make them agree. So el pintor está sentado, the painter is seated, has to agree with el pintor. But if your participle is agreeing with las paredes, we would have las paredes estaban pintadas. The walls were painted. So the painted now has to agree with paredes. So just make sure we're treating them like adjectives. Of course, as always, we are going to have irregulares. You may want to pause the video at this point and write them down. We have all of the irregulars written on the back with a cute little lamb, and we're going to get to that song in a second, on the back of the sheet that explains preterite versus imperfect. So if you have a chance, get that out, and many of you might want to write down what verbs they go with, because on the sheet it just has the irregular participles and not the verb they go with. So we have visto, vuelto, dicho, hecho, abierto, cubierto, puesto, roto, muerto, escrito, resuelto, and frito. And of course here we come up to an exciting song.
Visto, vuelto, dicho, hecho, dicho, hecho, dicho, hecho. Visto, vuelto, dicho, hecho, abierto, cubierto, puesto, roto, muerto, escrito, 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 roto, muerto, escrito, leído, traído, oído, descubierto, devuelto, 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 descubierto, devuelto, resuelto, compuesto, frito.
Leído, traído, oído, descubierto, devuelto, 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 descubierto, devuelto, resuelto, compuesto, frito.
Yay! All right, so as you can see, it's a cute little song that's going to help you remember. And I tell most of my students that if you can remember the first two sections, that is most of them that you're going to know, because if you notice, descubierto is just cubierto with des in front of it. Desvuelto, the same, devuelto is the same as vuelto, and resuelto, compuesto. But again, don't forget frito, papas fritas, that's our favorite, fried potatoes. So at some point you need to learn this song and try and have that help you for all of those irregular past participles. So here we are once again, and I've already mentioned that enchilada is the verb enchilar, to season with chili, and we just make it into an enchilada, which we all know and love. I put up here a few adjectives that I think that we've all known since Español Uno. Aburrido, enojado, divertido, cansado. And then I put in Salida, which is a town in Colorado. And all of these, if you notice, are past participles, even though we didn't know what that was before. But the fun thing is you take an adjective like aburrido, and you can now find the verb. Aburrir would be the verb to bore. Divertir is to have fun. Enojar is to anger. Cansar is to tire. Salir is to exit or to leave. So it does go both ways, and there are things out there that we already know. So my question for you today as a class is, I want to find out who can think of the 3 states in the United States that are past participles in Español. So we're going to be talking about that in class in just a minute. So think about 3 states that are past participles in Spanish. Spanish past participles that are states in the United States. And we'll leave you with a fun little comic. Tranquilos, es papel reciclado. Otro participio pasado. Adiós.